Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to discuss a pretty interesting topic. Are aftermarket parts bad for new cars? And what I mean by that is, like, you know how you have a friend, or this might be you, where you get asked, or you ask them, how come you don't get an intake, or how come you don't get an exhaust, or something simple done to the car, and then they say, well, because I still have it under warranty and I don't want it to void the warranty, I don't want the aftermarket part to mess up my car. So I'm going to be talking about my opinion on what I know and what people have told me, and backed up by research. When people are getting a part replaced, a lot of people say or recommend go get OEM. What that means is original equipment manufacturer, which is if you get your side mirror knocked off and it's a Nissan, you're going to be getting that part specifically from Nissan for that specific car. Aftermarket pretty much is like a knockoff from the OEM, where another company decided to do the same thing and go at a cheaper price with cheaper material. And that's pretty much considering it a replica, but not all aftermarket is bad. You know what I mean? Like, for example, there's certain parts where you want to go OEM, and then there's certain parts where you just want to go aftermarket, save the money. It's not really going to affect how the car still runs. A lot of people have asked me, how come I got an intake, and how come I got exhaust, how come I have headers, if it's going to void your warranty. It's a yes and no. Aftermarket parts might void your warranty, and aftermarket parts might not void your warranty, depending on what you get. Depends on what is happening to the car. For example, if I have an intake and my cable brushings ended up messing up so bad, they don't work, and I take it in to have them go check on it, and they have to take out my intake for it, they will charge me for the labor to take out my intake, and then they'll start working on the cable brushes. Because it's an aftermarket intake, that's not how I bought the car. So I have warranty for my car up to 100,000 miles. So I'm at 85,000 right now, so, you know, give or take, I'm not really gonna do anything major to the car other than simple bolt-ons. But what I'm getting at is, I'll use my Scion TC for an example when I had one. So back in the day, I had a Scion TC. I ended up putting a K&N short ram intake just because I got a good price. I wanted to get it done, and it sounded really badass. So I got an intake on it. My shifter wasn't really like going into gear. So I was only able to go into first, third, and fifth, but not be able to go into second, fourth, and sixth, none of the bottom ones. And I was scared, and I was like, damn, I'm at work, I was on my break, and then out of nowhere, my shifter started messing up. Next day, I took it off. I took off the shift boot to see if anything was stuck in there. Nothing was stuck. Then I said, you know what? Fuck it, I still got warranty with Toyota, let's go take it in. I take it into Toyota, and they go, so we found the problem. It's in your cable bushings, but we're gonna have to charge you to take off the intake. And I say, why? And they said, because we didn't install it, we didn't sell you the car with it, so we needed to charge you to take that off so that we can get to that specific part. Back then, I had no car knowledge. I didn't know it was a simple thing. Apparently, a bolt came off on the intake when I installed it, and it just fell through the cracks, and it was stuck, and it was jamming the gears, or the cable bushings. And I don't know if it was gonna be a simple fix, but I messed up, and that's what fucking happened. And I was sad because I was like, fuck, like, if that was gonna happen, I should have just taken it to someone else and have them install it if I was gonna pay for the same fucking price, you know? So it didn't void my warranty because it's just an intake, but they did have to charge for the labor because that's not their, that wasn't their equipment, so they had to charge to take that off so that they can fix whatever they needed to do. Now, let's say a piston goes out. They have to prove that the intake was the reason why the engine malfunctioned, so that they don't cover your car anymore. So if you have an exhaust on the car and your engine blew up, chances are it wasn't the exhaust's fault. It must have been something else that was happening with the engine, so you should be fine. So let's say you have a cold air intake, header or headers or downpipe or whatever, and exhaust, and it's tuned. Then they're starting to be a little skeptical. When you take the car in, my advice, try to convert it back to stock as much as you can. That way you'll be covered, especially if it's not a lot of work. If it's a lot of work, that's up to you on what you want to do. But what I would do is, if something happened to my car, and hopefully it doesn't, I would pretty much convert it back to stock as much as I can and detune it, have everything set to normal, and then take it in to make sure everything was ready. The last thing I want is, oh, you have this, you have that, I can't cover your car. But at the same time, they're gonna have to prove to it, and companies will do whatever they can to prove that they can't cover your vehicle because it will save them money. Just throwing that out there. Aftermarket parts aren't really that bad. It just depends on what you get. Like, obviously, if you get a new car, you don't wanna just go turbo it right away. Unless you want to, that's up to you. But your warranty will void because of it. That's why a lot of people, when they get a car and they don't know what they really want to do to it, they do simple bolt-ons. They go intake, exhaust, rims, springs. Like, oh, and talking about springs. Let's say your shocks start leaking, but you're on lowering springs. They will not cover it, because it's an aftermarket part. So if you are gonna lower your car and you know your shocks are starting to go bad, I'd recommend just replacing the whole arm with new shocks, new springs, everything else, or just get coilovers. That way it's actually brand new right there. Just giving you the heads up. I know my shocks are still good, that's why I'm not even worried about them. But for other cars, if your shocks start to leak and you have aftermarket springs, they will not cover it. I know that for a fact because I have friends that work at dealerships. Cool. So let me go ahead and read this off. This is not my quote. I'm reading this off of Google. In fact, a modification won't void a warranty unless an automaker or dealer can prove that the aftermarket part caused the need for repairs. In other words, your warranty will still be valid if your radiator springs a leak, even though you've added an aftermarket exhaust. Pretty simple, right? I know a lot of people would rather see a video of it than to do the information, than to look up the information themselves. I don't know why, but you know what? That's why we're here. It just depends on what kind you guys want. It just depends on what aftermarket parts you guys go with. If you guys really want to go all big and go all out, then by all means, it's up to you, but just know that your warranty might not be covered. But if you just get little modifications here and there, especially if it's just like cosmetic looks, you'll be fine. And that's kind of like the main reason why a lot of new vehicle owners do that. Like, let's say you get a new FRS B or Z or a new Civic Si or a new WRX. A lot of people just go with simple basic bolt-ons because they know the warranty is still covered. They don't want to deal with that. I'd rather just make a car look badass and have it slow, but still have it under warranty. That way when the warranty's done, I can start working on the engine. But if you buy like an old car, like, well, not old car, but like a used car, like an S2K, Chevy Cobalt SS, like in that category used, how they don't make them anymore, I mean, you might as well just go ahead and just do whatever you want to it, especially if there really isn't a warranty to cover it, but it depends on where you buy it. So yeah, I'm pretty excited right now because me and Victor are actually going to be working on getting that dent removed from the car soon, and it's probably going to be an interesting video if everything goes according to plan. And then I do have the next 2 days off, so I would be able to get an actual good video for you guys for Friday. So I do apologize if some of these videos are a little lacking in content, but you know what? I'm just trying to do my best out here for you guys. That way you guys can at least hang out with me twice a week, maybe even once a week, I don't know. So I just wanted to go over with that with you guys. Thank you again for all you guys' support. I will see you guys in the next video. If you guys did walk into this channel, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Lets me know you guys are there listening. And about my gaming channel, I did post a video up. I did play Outlast 2 for about 45-50 minutes, so I'll leave the link in the description if you guys want to check that out. It's not the best, but you guys can see me screaming like a little hoe every once in a while. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay classy. Peace.